It's a sunny day, but very windy. Currents of air are lifting the curtains in some house. The main character wakes up and stands up like a zombie. What? He asked, revealing his words. It's just, the character continued to say, looking at the large city and the castle behind it. This is the game I was playing! He shouted, unable to believe his eyes. But let's go back 3 years. I was a regular game character. My name was the living legend of Archon, said the hero. It was about different dangerous events that happened in the academy. And there were different variations of these incidents, he continued to say, giving examples from different missions. But towards the end, everyone started talking about the end of the light. Those rumors were known by almost everyone. But it's all good, because the main character has to take control, said the character cheerfully, calming himself down. I'm just an ordinary person anyway. I'm just an NPC in the beginning quests that the main character is doing, he added. If the story runs parallel to the game, it'll be fine, the hero kept saying in his head, helping the regular in-game people. Alright, we need to find the main character, Siha Park. It's about to become popular and rich. The hero already thought in real time, humming a tune. Somewhere around here was the starting point, he said, looking around, and then he noticed a man in a black suit and a medal, saying strange things like, "Sweet potatoes, holy tomatoes, Sprite Fanta." Sprite Fanta? There are no such drinks in this world, the hero asked in surprise. I existed only for my efficiency, shouted the man in black, holding his eye while the other glowed with an unnatural purple light. Just then, the protagonist grabbed the man's arm. Me too! He shouted while the man in black didn't realize what was happening. Park Sihu is just an ordinary player with an ordinary character, the protagonist continued to say already in his head. But we have differences, big differences, he said, showing how Sihu fights the dragon. The differences are that Sihu already had privileges with the character. And Sihu also had problems with not playing games at all. He didn't even know how to use the characterization window, the main character continued to say. I thought I heard that you want to become a mage. Then you need to get the Book of Intelligence. And after that, you'll need a skill book. It's very important, try not to forget. He spoke like an NPC giving a task, while Siha thought it was a script. I know all the routes in this game. I am a professional at what I do, hero of Archon, said the hero in his head while in real conversation just said to trust him. Having someone like me is already a very big deal, he thought smugly. But suddenly from behind the happily talkative protagonist, a huge dog, or wolf, appeared. At the same moment, the hero and Sherhu turned their attention to him. The player immediately started summoning weapons, and in 1 second, he massacred the wolf by piercing its neck with a chain. And the protagonist stood behind him. Are you okay? Sherhu asked smugly as his magic dissipated. I know everything about this game, everything possible about it, said the hero in his head. And Sihu has excellent strong abilities as well as good characterization, he added. We together with Sihu are the best team. We can save millions of people, and we can stop the end of the world, he added as he imagined destroying monsters with the player. Wow, where did you get this? The hero asked, looking at Sihu who pulled out a fucking flask of multicolored liquid from his bag. Here, it's a nice low-level elixir, replied the player. But only one thing was confusing me. The hero continued to think as he sipped this elixir. It's that it's all men here, he said indignantly. This game is very realistic. With its atmosphere, there are heroines here that you can go on a date with. The hero imagined beautiful girls of different professions. But Sihu chose a male collective where there is not a single woman. By that we should end it with only men, he said. Why are you surrounded by young handsome guys every time? The hero asked Sihu, with a face like he was being mocked. I should have realized everything when the Sword Emperor's granddaughter died on the way to the ceremony, he thought. When the first level boss Marietta went missing. The mysterious disappearances, they were all based on the original story from the video game. The hero continued, remembering the plot from the game. And the funny thing is, Shervu isn't a person like I thought he was. He continued to think as he looked at the non-player. His personality began to speak cryptically in his head. His real personality. The tone of his thoughts lowered and lowered. I should have doubted him at least a little bit. He thought in a completely shocked voice, then said in an audible voice like this. What is it? Marietta Dunildef is one of the heroines of this game. But Sihu wasn't ready to meet her yet because she disappeared. Then why is her staff here right in front of Omi? He said with a misunderstood face, looking at the staff with an inlaid stone. Park Sihu, that person. I've been watching him all the time. I'm sure he's doing something. He goes somewhere every night. I didn't think a place like this existed. The main character continued to say. This place is like his personal collection. He shouted across the room as his voice echoed through the corridors. Why is Odachi's sword here? It's also an item of the missing heroine Alicia, he said as he continued to look at all the items around him. And that's not even all I've looked at, added the hero, looking at the looted resources from the bosses, like swords, hammers, shields, and axes. Almost everything here is stuffed with items of missing characters as well as, he continued to say, but he stopped because of something he saw. He was looking at a body tied to the shackles. It was placed in an obscure red liquid. It was a girl, apparently one of the heroines. Is that Marietta Dunilef? He thought, watching her float unconscious. Not again, Sihu said, tapping himself on the head with the palm of his hand. The protagonist flinched upon hearing his voice. Why are you here? Said the player in a serious, threatening voice. What's this all about? Earlier you said that you came to Marietta and she was gone, no one could find her, said the protagonist in an indignant voice. And this? She's still a demon, so it's okay, replied Sherhu. You want to just waste the blood of a senior class vampire for nothing? He asked interestedly. I'm using her blood for good and useful purposes, the player added, looking at his blood-squeezing machine that was running non-stop. You drank a little bit of her too, by the way, Sisu said with a chuckle. After hearing that, the hero fell into a stupor. He remembered how he drank the elixir after the battle. The player had tricked him. He took a hold of his mouth. His face turned pale and he almost spat out all the food he had eaten. Are you all right? You can't stand blood? I've been working on this project for a long time. First I had to catch her. Then I had to keep her trapped in the forest for a month, said Sherhu calmly, looking at the pale protagonist. Why? Why? He said with aggression but quietly. For a quick progression in the storyline, I don't want to mess around for a long time. The normal progression process is too long, said Sihu, looking at the hero with disdain. You're losing because you want to help people and save them. You don't want to destroy monsters like Jagger or Lark. You keep just protecting people. We can't protect them all, we can only manipulate them to raise our profile. He spoke, pinning the main character against the wall, who looked at him with fear. Using them like I just told you is the best thing I could have ever come up with. Now listen to me here. I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better than you at this game, you could even say I'm the strongest. Shervu continued to say, looking at the hero like he was nothing. He lied to me from the beginning, thought the hero. This man, not a beginner at all, he thought. How much? With a single word, the hero asked in a quiet voice with aggression. Shervu immediately realized what he wanted to ask. I'm not sure, but let's see. If I eliminate 3 more creatures then, Sihu began to say, opening his profile and characterization. If I eliminate 3 more creatures, I have 100,000 annihilations, he said in a low voice, turning his head sharply at the hero. He's not human, thought the hero, not believing his ears. You're a monster, he shouted, taking Shervu by the collar. Wake up, are you even normal? It's all NPCs here. You've eliminated enough creatures too, by the way, he replied calmly, standing in an awkward pose. Everyone I eliminated were evil lowlifes, they didn't stand a chance. Plus, they were trying to bring about the end of the world, added Sherhu. After saying that, the hero only strengthened his grip. Effectiveness? Benefit? The hero asked in a whisper, gritting his teeth. If you're fixated on efficiency, then why do you need Odysseus' sword? Why does an ordinary mage hide parts of equipment for knights in his basement? He shouted, slamming Sherhu against the wall. And this? He said uncertainly. And what's wrong with a steady supply of elixir? I mean, you can make it very easily. The hero continued to shout, airing his grievances. Why can't you do it when you have this farm standing that is built on blood, literally and figuratively? He finished, whereupon Sherhu started laughing and said, You're such an idiot. I get it, you just need a cow to milk so you can fulfill your needs of helping people, said Sihu in a serious voice, activating a supernatural glow from his eyes. What? The hero asked. In the next moment, a very strong side kick flew across the hero's face, Sihu's hand hitting the main character right on the temple. The hero didn't even have time to realize anything as he immediately flew into the wall at a very high speed. You made me furious, said Sihu, walking slowly towards the hero who had smashed his head against the wall, drops of blood dripping down the wall. After everything I've done for you, you dare tell me something you don't like? The player spoke with disdain. I'll tell you what you should think of me. I should be your everything. I should be your world. You shouldn't stick your nose where it doesn't belong. Why is everybody so ungrateful? How can I? Sihu said threateningly, making a very scary face to intimidate the hero. I can't hold back anymore, he continued to say, already in a calm voice. What the hell are you talking about? Thought the hero, with an incomprehensible face. You're not that type of character, are you? We've been together for 199 chapters, is that why you decided to change the genre of the game? He asked confusedly, crawling away on his hands like a spider. I will tear down everything in my path. For the sake of our future, Sherhu continued to say, walking straight at the hero. So that's why you didn't want girls on the team, all you want is guys, said the main character as he continued to crawl. I don't look at other men, I don't even think about them. The only thing I really love, Sherhu began to say, raising his hand. It's you, he finished, whereupon the protagonist, out of fright, landed a punch on the player's jaw. He's a very scary man. I almost just went to the bathroom. I've never had a girlfriend before, he thought, running towards the exit with a shocked face. But that magic, purple tentacles, grab the hero's leg and he falls. They bind his whole body, preventing him from moving. They were leading him to Sihu. It can't be! Screamed the hero, trying to lean with his knees. You won't be able to run away from me. You will stay with me forever, Sherhu said in a calm, quiet, and soothing voice. You are mine, he said, looking at the kneeling hero right in front of him. In this not real world, you are the one real thing, Sihu added, dispelling all magic. The purple matrix crumbled right before the hero's eyes. You! Release me! Cried out the hero. Soon everything will be all right. One day this battle will be over, said Sihu, opening the portal. And then we'll be together forever, he said lastly as he walked away into the portal. Is this really the plan Park Sivu came up with? The hero asked himself, lying somewhere near the water. A message popped up in front of him that the final stage had begun. It started, he said, listening to the splashing of the water. He just destroyed everything he could. By that I'm sure he'll defeat the final boss. He spoke without moving, on the small island. One day he will defeat the final boss. What's going to happen to me? He continued to pile himself with the same questions, looking up at the starry sky. Immediately a new message popped up in front of him. Player dead. Task failed. You mean this idiot failed? He asked, after 10 seconds of silence. And then the familiar window with curtains, as well developed by the draft. The hero wakes up with a great fright on his face. He just as abruptly stands up like a zombie. Am I back? He asked himself, looking at the large city and the castle behind it. He clenched his hands into a fist, tears rolling down his cheeks, then mouthed, I must destroy it! Shihu Park! I must annihilate it by any means necessary! He said smugly, setting his goal for the near future. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to put a bark and subscribe. These you say what you like, it's very motivating, thanks. Good luck to you.